Hello, I'm Dylan Xavier Avalos, born on June 19th, 2003, from the city of Chicago, born at USC Hospital. Growing up, I grew up in the south side of Chicago till I was about 12 years old when I then moved to Tinley Park. I stayed there for up until my junior year of high school, and then senior year I went to Plainfield South Academy, where I graduated, and then I am here at JJC. Today I will be talking about my life in a bag. It is 3 items that have impacted my life severely, and just tell my story. First off, I'm going to start with the Michael Jackson vinyl. I want this vinyl to symbolize not only just Michael Jackson himself, but my love for music as a whole. Growing up, Michael Jackson was my favorite artist, my inspiration, my idol. I would always turn on Michael Jackson, when I was feeling down or I just wanted to listen to music and get funky. Michael Jackson was that artist for me. He passed away when I was 6 years old, and that was probably the first time I could remember crying over the death of someone. Michael really had an impact on me. It just felt like he was a superhero, like he was someone that I could look up to and really just model my life after. I always saw him doing good, and with recent allegations, it's kind of hard to keep that out of my perspective of him, but Michael Jackson Thriller vinyl, my favorite vinyl in my collection. This was actually given to me by my grandmother. She was a big vinyl collector, so this is an original Michael Jackson Thriller vinyl. Second off, a Sox hat. Not only is it a hat, this is my favorite Chicago sports team, Chicago White Sox. I want this to symbolize, my love for the game of baseball. I grew up playing the sport, and also just the many memories that I have with the Chicago White Sox. Growing up, I lived maybe 10 minutes away from Guaranteed, which is now Guaranteed Rate Field. And so I was always at games. Some of my greatest memories growing up as a kid were in the stands, cheering on for my favorite team. So this hat just shows all the World Series championships that they've won. I was alive for 2005, although I don't remember it. It is something that I watched tape of and just hope to relive one day. Chicago White Sox hold a lot of great memories for me, and a special place in my heart being my favorite Chicago sports team. Go White Sox, Boo Cubs. Lastly, I want to talk about the game of basketball. This is probably the most significant for me. Growing up in the city of Chicago, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of just things you want to escape, and basketball did that for me. Every day I was out shooting from sunrise till, especially in the summer, sunrise till night. That was my everyday routine. I was out there getting 500 free throws, 500 from the three. I really thought that was going to be my escape and my way out. Thankfully, we ended up leaving the city when I was 12, and we moved to this more quiet suburb where we really escaped that violence. But basketball was it. I made most of my friendships through the sport. Some of my greatest friends that I still have today are some of the kids that I grew up with, playing at a park for 5 hours a day, shooting a basketball. The game has really taught me how to communicate with others, build relationships, and be a leader, more specifically. When I'm on the court, I'm a whole different person. I'm a leader, I'm vocal, I'm making sure my job there is to win, and win as a team more specifically. It's not just about my personal performance, it's about what we can accomplish as a whole. And that's something that I really see the beauty in, just working together to accomplish something bigger than yourself. And basketball really does that for me. It symbolizes life. You're gonna fail sometimes, but you gotta keep shooting. Eventually it's gonna go in. And basketball, just really love of my life. I still play to this day. Obviously not at the level where I would like to, but basketball is it for me, and will continue to have a very big impact on my life. Hopefully get to coach kids in the future and just share my love of the game with them and teach them how important it is. Not only just a round ball going into a basket, it symbolizes way more than that to me and to millions of others across the world. So that was my life in a bag. I talked a lot about Chicago and how it impacted my life growing up. I think living in the city was something that I needed, and it really changed my aspect of how I view life, and I'm more appreciative of things because I didn't always have that growing up. Lived in a bad neighborhood, cousin was murdered, know a lot of people that went to gangs and were shot and killed. And that's not the path I took, thankfully. You know, I had great role models around for me. I made sure I stayed out of the streets and continued on my academic path and sports. Um, but all in all, love my life, you know, 18 years old, and I look forward to having many more things to talk about in the future. Thank you.